everybody, welcome back to Girl Talk with Isi. I'm Isioma Nanye and I'm excited to be talking about personal development and setting realistic goals. And I'm really excited to be having this conversation with Bukola.
Hi everyone. Okay, my name is Bukola Echoga. I'm so excited to be here with Isioma to talk about personal development and how to set realistic goals.
Okay, first of all, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and why personal growth and development is something that you're really passionate about?
My name is Bukola, like I said. I'm a personal development coach. I'm also a business owner. I have a business that I run. I think my passion for personal development started with the awareness of purpose in life. You know, we all at a point say everything like you have to be more than this, you have to do something, you have to have something you want to do with your life. And I realized that it's more than saying you want to be something. It's about being that thing. So you just have to be able to take yourself from where you are right now to where you're saying that you want to be. So I take personal development as improving the quality of my service to humanity, becoming a better version of myself to deliver value to my world. So the Bukola now cannot give the best, but there is a Bukola that can give the best. So personal development is all about developing yourself so that you can give value, you can give top-notch value to your community. You're not just giving something shallow, you're not just giving something, you're giving something top-notch. And there's a kind of person that can give that. You're talking about a disciplined person, you're talking about a determined person, you're talking about a visionary. So all these things you become, and that's where personal development comes in. You grow, you learn all of these things to become them.
Okay, wow, that's amazing. Personal development is all about value and kind of person that you are and being disciplined, that's to give that value. That's great. And I want to also ask you, how do you know what area of your personal development to focus on? Because I know once the new year starts, we are in March right now, but once this new year starts in January, everybody's excited to go after their goals. But then January passes by, February, March, and sometimes you might not really know what your goals are again or whether you should still focus on them. How do you know which areas of your life to continue to focus on from January and be consistent?
Okay, every area of your life is very important. I had a goal setting class early this year with few people, and one of the things I emphasized in the class is the greatest mistake you will make is to segment and pick one aspect of your life and say you want to focus on that. Your spiritual life doesn't make all of you. The you is divided into different aspects. You have your relationship, talk about your family, husband, children, friends. You have your spiritual life, you have your career or business, if it's business or your career. If you're a student, you have education. If every aspect of your life is important. So in setting goals, you don't just set goals on career. Let's say this January and you want to set a goal, the first thing you have to do is to ask yourself, what do I want to become when it comes to spiritual life? What do I want to become at the end of the year? What do I want to improve on? What do I want to grow? How do I see myself? Career path, how do I see myself? What milestone do I want to cross? What success do I want to record when it comes to my career? Same as education, same as your health, the food you eat, exercising and stuff like that. So you have to ask yourself, what's my expectation? Then you know what to set for yourself. Or if my expectation is, for example, if my expectation is I want to lose 10 kg, then you know that's the goal I'm going to set. I have to make sure that I'm going to get that at the end of the day. So if I say that I want to finish my Bible, for example, this year, then I know that my expectation is by December I must have finished the Bible. Okay. Then my goal, what I am setting, must make I must make sure that what I'm setting makes me achieve that particular thing. So every aspect of our life is important. Same as relationship. How well do I want to do with my relationship with my family? How often do I want to get across to my friends? How often do I want to call my parents, call my mom? And when you begin to have such expectation, then ideas of maybe I go visit them twice in a year begins to come. So you set that kind of goal. I'm going to maybe have a girls hangout every two months with my friends.
All right, first of all, let's discuss personal development and what does personal development mean to you?
Right. So I think for me, personal development started when the awareness of purpose started for me, and I got to a point where I think I know what I want to do with my life. I think I know what I want to give back to the society.
Yeah.
So then, knowing what you want to become, knowing what you want to give back to the society, and the real you now, and that thing, the potential difference is huge. Like, you can see the difference, and you're like, if I'm going to become this, then something needs to happen. A growth needs to happen. I must become this kind of person. So there is a kind of person I must become to be able to give this top-notch value I say I want to give to my society, and that is where personal development comes in. Personal development simply means, for me, improving the quality of my service to humanity. I want to give back to my world. I want to live a life of impact, and if I'm going to live a life of impact, there is a kind of person that can do these things I say I want to do. So I must become that kind of person. Talking about discipline, talking about determination, talking about being hardworking. So I must become all of these things. We are not born with them. We learn. So we learn those things so we can take ourselves from this point to the point where we want to be, and that's the personal development journey.
For you to get yourself to that person that you want to be and live a life of purpose and value. Wow, that's amazing. And now let's talk about what area of personal development do you focus on? Because when a new year comes, we all want to go after our goals, but then after January goes by, February, March, you're not really sure what area of your life to focus on. And just because of the way life happens, some people can forget about your goals. How do you know which area of your life you should continue to focus on as far as personal development?
When it comes to personal development, the one mistake you don't want to make is thinking one aspect of your life makes the whole you.
Okay.
What makes you? What makes Bukola? I will say it now. My spiritual life, my career, my family, like relationship-wise, both nuclear and personal family, my relationship with my friends, all this, my health, my physical being, all this makes up Bukola. If my health suffers, my career will suffer. If my spiritual suffers, my career, my development, whatever I want to be, will also suffer. So we need to understand that the human life constitutes every aspect, and every of all these aspects must be taken into consciousness. Like, you have to be conscious about developing every of these aspects. So the first thing you want to do when you want to say, I'm in January and I want to do something, is to ask yourself, what makes up me? What aspect makes up me? Then you write them down. All of those aspects must be developed.
Yeah. All of the aspects that make you who you are, not just focusing on your career or your faith. Focus on your career, your faith, and your spirituality.
Your relationship.
And your relationship also. But then let's talk about how do you become consistent with your goals. I know some people talk about vision boards, and vision boards are awesome, but for somebody like me, I feel like I just prefer the traditional writing things down to remind myself what I need to do daily. How can somebody be consistent with their goals? Do you recommend a vision board, or do you recommend having an accountability partner group? How can somebody be consistent with their goals?
Okay, when it comes to goals, because if I just highlight how to be consistent with goals, I think I might not be doing justice to this question.
Okay.
The first thing I've seen, one thing I've seen that affects people consistency is the kind of goals they set for themselves.
Okay.
So in setting goals, like we've all heard about the SMART goals, your goals being realistic, being measurable, specific, time-based. And all of these things are very important, because if whatever you're set doesn't tick the box of these things, they are not goals. They are just wishful thinking.
Okay.
So goals, like when you say setting goals, I feel it's already like a cliche, right? But if whatever you've set doesn't tick these things I've said, if it is not specific, if it is not measurable, if it is not attainable, if it is not realistic, time-based, you will realize that you will get tired because, okay, for example, if I say that I just want to grow my spiritual life, I just want to grow my spiritual life, that's not the goal. That's an expectation. That's a wishful thinking.
Okay.
What do you want to do? But if I say something like, I want to make sure that I pray 1 hour daily and read 2 chapters of the scriptures daily, that's a goal. I have something I'm going to measure myself with. So now, how do I get consistent with that thing that I've said? Because if I say I just want to become better in my spiritual life, you've not said anything. You can't get consistent.
Very general.
You can't get consistent with something like that. So, but how do you get consistent with your goal? For me, what has worked is I go back to refill my bucket of vision. Now, and I think it's one thing everybody should do. Everybody. Setting your goals in January is awesome and beautiful. I had a class in January where I taught people about goal settings. But one thing people don't do is people don't audit their life. So there is something I do. I call it life auditing. I audit my goals. I do it every month.
Wow.
There's one I do every month. There's one I do every quarter. Right?
Okay.
So I look back, I sit down, and I revisit my whys. Why do I want to do this in the beginning? Why am I even reading my Bible every day? Why did I even say I wanted to start jogging? Or like why? So I need to revisit my whys, because in setting goals, your why comes first. Why do you want to grow career-wise? Why do you want to read 2 books every month? Why do you want to exercise every day? What happens if you don't? You need to repaint that picture back to yourself. What happens if I actually do not read 2 books every month? For me, there's a degenerate, like, I just degenerate, like, I mean, if I'm not studying, something happens to me. I know the end point if I don't study. I don't want that end point. I know the picture. I know what I'm going to become if I don't pray every day. I know what I'm going to become if I don't exercise, right? I know what I'm going to become if I don't spend time in my relationship. I know what is going to happen. So you have to revisit your why. You have to set time where you revisit your why. Why am I actually doing this? Then you repaint the picture. What happens if I don't? Then what happens if I do? Like, just imagining.
What are the consequences of you going after your goals, and what are the consequences of not going after? So
I like that. Imagining what I would have become like. Oh my God! If I was able to actually pursue this plan, this goal in my career. This is the kind of figure I can earn at the end of the month, at the end of the year, right? And I imagine the vacation that I can take. I imagine the kind of life, the things, the assets I can now get. Those things are beautiful. Everybody needs to get to that point where they can picture what they can be. If they actually go through with their plans. And it must not be one-off thing. It has to be
continuous.
It has to be continuous. Like, at any point you feel depressed or you feel tired, one of the beautiful things you can do is to revisit your why. And that's where vision board comes in. Right? Your vision board doesn't have to be digital. It can be physical. You can get pictures and put it on a whiteboard in your room. And you remind yourself, maybe you have a picture of Maldives on your wall, and remind yourself that if I go through this business goal that I've set, there's going to be nice cash waiting sitting in my bank account, and I can take this vacation at the end of the year.
Greece, to Italy,
when you look back and you like, if I'm able to go through with these exercise goals, there is a kind of person I'll become. I'll be fit. There is a me that I'm seeing. Maybe you have this figure that you want to look like, the kind of clothes you want to wear. You already have the picture of the kind of clothes you start sewing. So when you revisit those things, it spurs you back.
To keep going.
Because the truth is, right? Goals are like buckets of water that we carry at the starting of the year.
Okay.
Things happen. Disappointment, a punch. Start leaking. Maybe quarrel with family, another leak. Maybe you get fired at work, another leak. Before you know it, in fact, failure is one of the things that leak our buckets of vision. When we encounter failure or disappointment, we get down. And there is this way it affects our esteem and our confidence to go on with every other thing that we do. So that thing you want to revisit. What you do when you revisit your whys is that you fill back your bucket. You fill it back, and before you know it, you are pumped up. If it is 30 minutes, that 30 minutes, it feels like, what was I thinking? Did I say I was going to stop? No way. We're going to get mad.
Exactly.
We're going to get this body. We're going to get this goal body. We're going to get this goal money. We're going to be like, I want, at the end of this year, I want a lot of people to say I've been able to impact their life. You think of the people that you want them to sing your name and say, oh, if not for Bukola, I wouldn't have been able to achieve this. Oh, if Bukola didn't do this class. So when you remember these things, you realize that you're pumped back.
Exactly.
And another thing you want to have is you want to have accountability partners, right? People that you can be accountable to. I tell people that if you don't have, you can create one. Don't spend too much time looking for different people. I'm looking for accountability partners. If you can't find, create one.
Okay.
Pick your friend. Girl, I have a plan this year. Are you ready? Do you also want to get there too? Let's be accountable to each other.
Somebody who shares the same goal, because not everybody.
Sometimes it doesn't even have to be the same goal.
Okay.
The person does have to carry the energy.
Okay. All right.
You don't want to have someone that is just nonchalant. Whatever will be like. I mean, what's that? There's nothing. that notion should be like thrown away. It's a lie.
Somebody that will ginger you.
There is nothing like whatever will be. You don't need that kind of person. You need someone that says, I have to be responsible for my outcome. I have to be responsible for what I'm going to become. You need that kind of person, that kind of energy. So look for, if you can't find people, create one too. And every time we visit your goals together, you guys share, tell yourself, have days where you meditate and you think of, like when you think of that vacation, because I say vacation because vacation is one of the things that is one of the things that I told myself that okay, like I want to take a vacation to this particular place. So if I'm able to go through with my business plans and make this kind of money, make this kind of profit, I can successfully take this money out of my bank account and go for this vacation, right? So when I remind myself, I tell no stopping. There is a gain. So looking at the gain. And that's why you need accountability partner. People that you can look at these things together. People that when you're down, you can call and it speaks word of encouragement. Because there are times that you're down, you don't even want to revisit anyone. Please leave me alone, be quiet. I don't want to. Maybe you've just encountered a big failure. I know how it is when you put all your energy into something and it didn't yield the result that you were. Maybe even like the disappointment was way too much for you to take. You need people that you can call
that can just sort of uplift you.
And you're crying and you're talking on the phone and the person just keeps saying, baby girl, these things will become better. Keeps reminding you of this, keeps reminding you of the vision. We are still in March, things can still happen. We are still in April, things can still happen. If you still do this, you can still hit this goal. You need people like that. It's
very, very important.
You need people. You need people like that. This world is a world of relationship. We can't actually do without each other.
Yeah.
We can't actually do without each other. If not, God would have shown only me in this world. And
we need other people.
We need other people. We need other people.
That's
so you want to revisit your why.
Yeah.
You want to have accountability partners.
Yeah, revisit your why. Have accountability partners. It's really important, and to always know, like at the end of the day, sort of like envision what will happen if you are going after your goals and the sort of life you can have.
Yes.
And even that aspect of having somebody to encourage you. I put up a post on Instagram about affirming your worth in the world when it feels like the world is trying to make you feel less than. And to me, that's my family, because there are certain days when you feel like, okay, I'm not motivated to go after my goals. Just speaking to my sister or speaking to my brother just encourages me and motivates me. And it really matters to have some form of support system that will enable you to know, okay, how can you move forward in your goals and vision. But yeah, definitely, I like the fact that you said we have to be specific, because sometimes we tell ourselves, oh, I want to achieve this and that, but then that's also something that I need to do also. How do you sort of like have those goals in specific points to make sure that you're keeping up with the things that you want to do? Because I know there are certain goals that I need to work on. I still need to work on my financial management. That's one of the goals that I need to become better on. And that's something that I'm also focusing on, an aspect in my life that I need to do better with saving and investing. I have a lot to learn, but it's also one of my most important personal development goals. We should always try to have specific, realistic goals. And also, would you say that that's the same advice you would give for women, that they should focus on their why and focus on their end goals? Like, how can more women go after the goals and dreams that they have in personal development? Would you say continue to have accountability partner and be specific? Is that the same thing you would give women at different stages in their life? They are students, young professionals. What would you advise them?
Yeah, it should still start with your why. Because one of the things you can't take away from goal setting is your why.
Yeah. The reason why you're doing what you're doing.
The reason why there's always a reason why we're doing everything we're doing. Like we do not do things because of nothing.
Yeah.
Is that how we want to feel good about it? There's a reason why we're wearing the clothes we're wearing.
Yeah.
Why did you choose this kind of weird today? There is a picture, you saw a picture of how you wanted to look, so it made you choose this kind of clothes.
Exactly.
There's a reason why you decide the kind of hair you want to make. You have a picture of how you want to look, how you want to feel about yourself. So you realize that our why always comes up in everything we do. Whether it's conscious, like maybe you put it down or you didn't put it down, like what you wear, where we go to, the kind of hairdo we make, the kind of, maybe we choose to wear earrings or we choose not to do makeup, all these daily things that we do. There's always a why.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not conscious, like we don't have to put it down in writing.
Yeah, there's always a why.
But we just want to. Yeah. Sometimes you have a way you want to look, you have a way you want to feel. Let's say, for example, I have an event that I'm going to. There is a way I want to feel at that event. So it begins to determine my choices in clothes, the thing I'm going to wear, the kind of makeup, whether I'm going to do makeup, I'm not going to do makeup, whether I'm going to arrive in this kind of car, I'm not going to arrive in this kind of car. It begins to affect every of your choice. How you want to look, how you want to feel, your why. So it is very important in setting goals as women. One of the mistakes I've seen that we make, is that we have a lot of wishful thinking and expectation.
And sorry to cut you off, but the reason why I ask this question is because we go through different stages in our life. When you are a student, so once you start the workforce, you're a professional, so once you get to a different stage where you're married and have children, those are different stages. And I feel like it's important to talk about how women can motivate themselves, because there are some women that once they get married, they have children, they don't feel as though they can live their life for themselves and they cannot go after their goals because there are so many responsibilities. That's why I said, how can women motivate themselves?
Okay, I think there's this exercise that I did some years back, and I will encourage people to also take this exercise. So I asked myself some basic questions. I saw this question in the book, which, by the way, it's a book I will recommend for anyone. If you want to start the journey of personal development, I'll tell you to read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. So there was an exercise in the book, and it says, imagine your funeral day. What would you like to be remembered for? So, asking yourself such kind of question, imagining you're no longer in this world. What legacy? Do you just want to be known as the mother of 2 children? Do you just want to be known as the wife of this man? Is that all there is to your life? Is that all there is to my life? So I had to ask myself such question. Was I placed in this world just to be the mother to children and the wife to someone? There has to be more. There has to be more. So answering such questions, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be remembered by my word. I only wanted to be remembered by the youths in my generation. I knew I wanted to be remembered by people to say I helped them in knowing what they wanted to do with their life. I helped them in, setting a pace that they could follow. So I wrote things like that down. And at every stage, you need to keep asking yourself such question. What do I want to be known for?
Yeah.
At every point, now I have attained the university degree. Is that all?
Yeah.
Now that I've attained or I have started this business, is that all? I'm just 40, is that all? What can I still do?
Yeah.
What do I want to do? What life of impact do I want to live? How do I want to make impact? So, these are whys, these are strong whys, these are things that keep us to live. If you ask many rich people, if you ask many famous and influential people, you will hear things like they are strong whys, why they are doing the things they want to do, the kind of life they want to live, how they want to make impact, how they want to influence people. And should be told, they are actually influencing people. Most of these people have influenced many youths.
I guess my question is, what are some barriers that can stop people from going after their goals and dreams? Yeah, especially women. What are the biggest barriers?
Okay, I mentioned one. It said disappointment and failures. So I think another thing that happens in our life is prioritization. And I'm going to explain. These goals cannot take equal priority. They can't take equal time in our life. In some aspects, the spiritual may take preeminence, like in terms of priority. For example, you set a goal on your business. Business takes time. Business has a way of consuming you. Like, it has a way of consuming your time. And meanwhile, you also have a plan for your career, by the way. Like, maybe you want to ace a professional exam and you have to do some daily studying. And you also want to do something, or you want to reach a particular goal when it comes to profit in your business. In month of March can take a lot of your business can take a lot of your March. So you need to be flexible to understand that these things will not have equal time, and you have to be patient with yourself. Don't beat yourself to it, because that's one thing we can do. When you're auditing yourself, be like, I spend a lot of time on business in March. I've not been able to do anything career-wise. I'm short of this topic in my professional exam. I've not read this. My exam is this. So you have to remind yourself that these things won't take equal time. I have to be flexible. I have to prioritize. This month, which will take priority? Maybe your exam is like 3 or 4 months. You know that it needs to start gaining priority as months goes by. Business will have to be patient for your professional exam. So you have to be flexible. You don't beat yourself to it. Set priority. Another thing that happens, like I said, is failures. We have to learn how to manage failure so that it doesn't affect our esteem. That's one thing that women won't learn. We allow failure because we are emotional beings, and every aspect of our life kind of have a way of affecting every aspect. We are not like the men that they say they compartmentalize their life, and they can do well at work and family is just there. But for women, if a relationship
that's even different when it comes to families, and men actually doing the work, but it's the women that are doing that one is different.
If my relationship is not going so well, it has the way of affecting me if I want to study. Like I'm not focusing because this thing is not going on well.
Yeah.
So for we women, we have to learn how to manage failures because failures are important steps. Like one of the things we need to remind ourselves when we fail, that I've learned another way to do it better. I've learned another way not to do it.
Yeah.
Just be happy that, oh, thank God, like I learned this earlier. What if I've invested more than what I've invested? The mistake would have been huge, more than this. So always be happy and embrace your mistake and learn. Don't sit too much. Don't sit on the ground for too long. Don't beat yourself to it when you feel. Because when you do that, it affects your esteem, your confidence in the other things. Let's say, for example, you failed your professional exam. If we do not learn how to manage failure, you will see that it just affects your confidence in doing the other things that doesn't even have anything to do with professional exam. It just affects your exercise life, it affects your family, your relationship. You don't want to suck into depression. I'm not good enough. That's not true.
Don't allow your disappointments and failures
to afflict you.
Yes, don't give yourself a break.
Exactly.
This is life. Yeah, human and you can't keep it.
And learn to pick up and do it better. Yeah. If I failed in this, that means I can do better.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Bukola. I'll definitely share a link of our social media profiles and a link of our courses that you can really take to continue to develop yourself. Once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next talk.